What's going on, everyone? Shane and Kayla here. We today are going to be breaking down a package that we did earlier in, I think it was the first semester that we did this for basketball. This was my first major package. Kayla, I know you did a few more before this, but really today we're just going to show you guys, you know, proper ways to film stuff, and obviously we can't show you that with a camera. We can talk you through it with the video, all stuff that you would need to know when trying to put a package together, how to shoot certain stuff from different angles, and how important it is to make sure you're always getting every single shot in there, and not skipping a play, because in the end you can always go back and shoot some stuff over anyway. So let's start watching this video here. We're gonna pause it at certain points to talk about some important things. Unless, Kayla, you have anything you want to say before we get started?
I say I'm just gonna start it off with you can see that we started off with a two-person stand-up, which is something that wasn't very commonly used, but we wanted to do it because we both wanted to be on camera was what it was. But there's absolutely no problem with that. One thing to start off that's important before you're going out to report on a game is being prepared and having researched the game, some of the key players, big game points before you go to film, so that whenever you do your stand-up, you have it written, and so that you can present it whenever you go to do your stand-up. So I'll go ahead and play what we did for our intro stand-up.
Good evening from Mizzou Arena. The Mizzou women's basketball team is set to tip off against Western Illinois to kick off their 2019-2020 season in front of a home crowd.
That's right, Kayla, and no more Sophie Cunningham for this Tigers team. She has graduated, and she is now in the WNBA, a star in the program's history, one of the best they've ever had. So now it is up to senior Amber Smith to take control, take the reins of this team, and lead them to another tournament bid this upcoming season.
Coming off a
So right there, what you saw was our initial stand-up. We probably recorded that 10 times at least. Usually you
Which
don't
is
have a
okay.
script.
Which is okay.
Yeah, which is totally okay. It's honestly better if you don't get in one take, and you do a few takes at least, just to find what works for you. But we don't use a script. You just kind of, like Kayla was saying, you research enough stuff ahead of the game, so you have stuff in your mind of things you want to say. Usually, I would say, as you saw, the package was about 2 minutes. Something that they'll teach you also at KOMU is when you're putting a package together, you want to tell a story. Obviously, you want to show highlights of the game, but you want to tell stories. So right there, I introed. Obviously, Sophie Cunningham wasn't on the team anymore. She was a star for the program for a long time. Amber Smith was taking the reins of that, and as you'll see, as this highlight package progresses, you'll see how we focus on Amber Smith, and you'll see at the end of it how we end with her. Obviously, that was, our judgment was that she was going to have a good game, and you could say that's, Drew Lock, you might want to do a story on him, but then he ends up throwing 2 interceptions, and Cale Garrett on the defense ended up having a fumble recovery for a touchdown. You want to focus on him for the player of the game, which is why you always want to make sure you have as much footage as possible, so that you can always spin a story any different way you want to make it, and just give yourself options. You don't want to limit yourself. That's the last thing you want to do. So just always make sure you're staying on top of it. You're not taking a break while you're in the game, and you're just keeping your head focused.
Yeah, essentially we would expect you to film every play of the game. But it's not like you're filming the entire game, because when you go with your partner, you'll be able to switch and take turns filming, because that can get exhausting, obviously. But the key would be to film every play, like Shane said, so that you can get different things if different important things happen.
season, the Tigers hope to kick off their season strong. The first quarter was a back and forth all 10 minutes. After quickly getting in foul trouble, Amber Smith was taken out. Mizzou's Jordan Chavis sparked the Tigers' offense, playing the entire half and leading the team with 15 first-half points. The Tigers went into the break with a slim lead of 46-44.
Another important thing to note, just a quick thing. You saw in the beginning, Kayla was recording that part. She got the banner. She got a cheerleader, and now she's recording the scoreboard. You always want to make sure you get B-roll. B-roll is very important. It helps to make things flow. You don't want just solely highlights. You want to have something to help transition the piece along, and that's where you could do maybe a few seconds of the crowd. Maybe if there's a particular fan doing something, if dancing or something like that. Getting the scoreboard if the team is raising a banner like we kind of saw there. So there's different things, different aspects of it that you
Or
can.
like starting lineups or running through
Yeah,
the tunnel too. You can do that too.
exactly. Exactly. So you always want to make sure you're not just, focus on the game, but try to see the stuff around you, and maybe you can find an even cooler story with that going on.
It makes it more interesting to the viewers than just watching shot after shot of the same angle on the court, basically.
Coming out of the break, Mizzou led Western Illinois for the first 49 seconds of the quarter, but the Leathernecks asserted their dominance, opening the half with a 9-0 run, with 7 of those 9 from Olivia Kaufman. Mizzou began to creep back into it halfway through the third, but weren't able to reclaim their lead. Mizzou overcame their deficit halfway through the fourth quarter with a big three-point play on an and one by Elle Brown to tie the game at 68. The lead changed hands 6 more times, with the Tigers up 81-79 with 45 seconds left. Western Illinois' Annabelle Greetinger laid the ball up with 30 seconds to go, tying the game at 81. Mizzou attempted to wind the clock down for a last-second shot to win the game, but missed the shot, sending them into overtime. Mizzou's defense held Western Illinois to only 7 points in the 5-minute overtime and dominated offensively, taking the game 97-89.
You kind of want to be paying attention as you're filming as well, and as you're live tweeting, which is something that we'll get into in just a second, because you want to use key points in the games and key players and highlights and obviously the overall result in your closing stand-up.
So live tweeting is something that you and your partner switch off during a game. Usually you would, if your partner is recording the first half of the game, you'd be live tweeting that. A main point to emphasize is not to take videos during the game. That's something that we were told and that we'll pass on to you guys. They only want pictures. You can do GIFs. You can make it as funny, as creative as you want. That's actually the more creative, the better. Get more engagement with some of the people on Twitter. But it's just no videos. Just make sure that you're not recording it, because we already have that with the camera. So we don't want to have the dual highlights like that. But yeah, really live tweeting, score updates. You don't have to do every single basket. You can do maybe every 5 minutes of a basketball game. Every soccer, every goal, maybe a penalty. For football, every touchdown, big play, end of a quarter. Baseball, you would do at the end of every inning, stuff like that.
So we'll go ahead and play our closing stand-up.
Physical back-and-forth matchup from start to finish for the Tigers. They were helped out tremendously by senior Amber Smith with a double-double, but they had an amazing offensive showing all game with a thrilling overtime ending for the Tigers.
Yeah, Kayla, Tigers now 1-0 on the season as they look to continue their streak this coming Sunday at 2 o'clock here at Mizzou Arena as they take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But again, a great overall team win tonight. The team played hard, and they looked good. For MUTV 23 Sports, this is Kayla Smith and Shane Palma. Remember to breathe, guys.
Don't I know. I was just watching that was terrible.
Because I think this one we definitely recorded more than the first one.
So many times.
And we kept switching off who was gonna say what. So I think I just really wanted to remember the game time and the name of the team and everything. So I said it as quickly as possible. Don't do that.
And you could see that I was kind of lost a few times. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so
which,
definitely.
Again, that's not a huge deal.
No,
you'll kind of learn as you go. We can both say that we've improved beyond this, but we just chose this example because it's an example with both of us in it.
Yeah, it's definitely, take your time. If you mess up, that's okay. Again, you can always do it again.
Do it like 15 times if you have to.
Honestly, just wait. The arena might be empty by the time that you're done doing that, and that's okay.
Nobody to listen to you.
Yeah, there you go. It's less pressure on you if that's something that, if you're nervous ever, don't be it's hard not to say don't be shy, because everyone has a little shyness in them. But if you're not totally comfortable in front of the camera, and this may seem like a lot to you, maybe just give it a shot. If you don't want to post it in the end, if you want to cut yourself out of it, we can talk about that. But I just think that recording a stand-up, if you want to be in broadcasting, is definitely important. And honestly, this MUTV is a free space to be creative, to make mistakes, to learn from your mistakes. Failure is okay. We're here to support you. No one's gonna get mad at you if you stumble over your words, or if you say something incorrect in a thing at the end. And everything's fixable. We're here to help you. We want you to grow and get better at this. So might as well try, because this is the one place that you'll be able to do it, and everything will be fine at the end.
So once you get done filming all this, you'll head back to studio, turn all equipment in, and if you would like to, you can do all of your editing on the computers in the studio, or you can do it on your own computer, which is what I did because I didn't want to sit in the studio for 3 hours and do that. But basically, you need to lay out all of your footage once you've imported it, and kind of go through and piece it in order, cut out, delete your not so good shots, but make sure you keep your important ones in there because it'll help you write your script for what happened during the game for your voiceovers. So you'll want to write your voiceovers based on the storyline of the game, which you kind of maybe were able to hear as the game was playing, hopefully. And you also want to make sure that you match up what's happening in the videos with what you're saying in the voiceovers. That way it makes sense and flows well for the viewers.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty much it. You know, again, we can't teach you the camera stuff right now, white balancing, zooming in, focusing on stuff like that. It's a little difficult to do without a camera, but we plan on having definitely sessions, obviously, once we get to campus, once we have access to everything, that we'll be able to show you guys, and you won't go in blind. You'll have an executive with you the first time that you go. They could do the stand-up with you if you want to. They can let you do the stand-up on your own. They can do the stand-up and show you how it's done, and then you can do one on your own. You do 2 separate ones. You can make 2 separate packages with them. Anything, that would make you feel more comfortable. We're here again to support you, and anything you need, we're here.
Yeah. One other thing that I kind of blew over a little bit in recording would be, one of the biggest things is just to follow the ball during play. Follow the ball wherever it's going. And then what we like to do is, like, say somebody scores, you want to have a quote unquote hero shot where you zoom in and you're getting footage of the person who scored. And we had a few of those in here, and see if I can go through and find one of them.
Only 7 points in the 5-minute
So she
overtime
made that shot,
and dominated offensively.
and then the shot was of her because she was the reason why we won the game. Like, that was the game-winning point.
Obviously, we're not going to show a lot of highlights from the other team, but still record the other team in any sport, because you never know when a great defensive play is going to happen with anything. So always make sure you're recording it. Don't take your foot off the gas. Awesome. Well, hope you guys learned something from this. We'll have more workshops obviously coming out in the next few weeks. But that's it for us. Enjoy. Not enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Answer your questions.